Now I'd like to talk about some of the implications of the device. I originally came up with the idea one day when I grabbed onto my cold water line coming into my house from my well. I realized that the temperature of the water was 25 degrees colder than the ambient temperature of my house. Now it seemed to me that that was a useful energy source, and so I came up with this idea for the Vincent electrical generator. The idea being you could make these devices line this cold water intake pipe with a device, and it would generate electricity as long as it was mechanically able to operate, which should be quite some time because of the simplicity of the device itself. Then I began thinking about some of the other implications, one of which is a CPU in a computer. Currently, if you open up your CPU, or open up your computer and look at your CPU, you'll see a giant heat sink and a fan. Well, the point of that heat sink is to draw heat away from the CPU so that it'll operate cooler and more efficiently. Now what my device can do is draw the heat away from the CPU, but generate electricity as well, which can then be fed back into the system, thus reducing the electrical demand of your device. Other implications are, what if you combine it with a fuel cell? Now, a fuel cell loses its efficiency or becomes less useful when it has to actually split the fuel source, i.e. water. Now, if you can run a fuel cell such that when the water is split into hydrogen and oxygen, the heat from that is processed, turned back into electricity. The fuel cell uses less electricity to split the water at that point, and it starts being able, it frees up more electricity from the fuel cell to be used as electricity, not to split water. Now, other implications are pretty much every power supply in the world generates heat. It's by the very nature of the device that they generate heat. Well, once again, you can use that heat to generate electricity, feed the electricity back into the power supply, thus reducing the electrical demand of whatever device is being powered.